if you're really concerned about benefiting disenfranchised communities, ask your top funders to stop lobbying against organized labor and affordable housing. The communities that the people that go to JROTC would appreciate that more than having a military program in their schools.
Well, I want to give you another little thing that happens. You've heard the term redlining, and redlining happens to go on in a lot of minority and low-income communities. Okay, so they can't get loans, etc. We see that happening. But then if you look at a San Francisco tourist map, the southeast sector disappears. And there is a lot of black and brown and low-income people there. So this is interesting, that on one hand you have these organizations targeting many of the people from this group, or the youth from this area, and at the same time they're well aware of this other factor. So please continue.
It is really true. It's not just the tourist maps. I actually work in the Bayview now, and I'm amazed at how many maps do not include the neighborhoods that I need to go to visit my clients. It's just remarkable. You're right. So on one hand, the powers that be want this population invisible. On the other hand, they are being targeted as cannon fodder.
Thank you. So do you want to continue down the list anymore, or shall we move on?
One that I would add after that, the next donor is the San Francisco Police Officers Association, and then there's the U.S. Navy League. So it's all of the folks that you would imagine. The Republican Party has been a prime spokesperson for this effort. And as I was saying earlier, the way the proponents talk about it, they also say that it's an issue of choice. Why can't the students choose this program? And again, Reva, can I stop you right there? Because you said choice. I heard a couple of things in this program today that if you can't get PE, they suggest or force you into JROTC. One, some people are enrolled in an involuntary manner in it. So that's two things. There was a third, and
discipline children. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting to add up.
You're right. It's a backhand kind of choice. But I guess my point here is that, again, by international law, and this is it's an optional protocol of the UN, but it happens to be one that the U.S. has signed on to, it's against our domestic law, therefore, to recruit children under 17, which this program does. So again, I work with families and youth, actually, and there's a reason why there's an age of majority at which significant decisions are made, right? Mm-hmm. Some choices we leave to youth and others we don't. And we elect a school board to deliberate on educational policy. And our school board has decided that JROTC is an inappropriate program for our students. Our tax dollars should not go towards allowing the military access to our students to recruit them.
And the school board is elected.
And the school board is elected. So it's all very democratic. So I certainly believe in input and working with and collaboration with youth and helping, develop programs for them to build on their strengths. But it is a legitimate procedure for an elected body, such as the school board, to decide, no, I do not believe students should have the choice to be brainwashed, I believe, by the military through this program. So I think that word choice just keeps getting thrown out there, and you brought up all these other ways that it's really even not so choice-oriented, but it's just one of the buzzwords that the proponents are using.
I mean, to put it into historical context, how often when things are added to the curriculum in various school districts throughout history, how often is choice brought up? Did we bring up choice when evolution was taught in schools, when the required teaching of religion in schools was taken out, when sex ed was implemented into schools? These were all decisions made by school boards in the district because these are professionals. These are people who actually have the skills to determine what developmentally would be the best for students. And we elected them. We gave them the power to make those decisions. And, those decisions are a reflection of the voters. It's not a cabal of ideologues that seized power through nefarious means. It's a democracy. It's a and this is a democratic decision.
Well, I look at your funders, and many of your funders have lobbyists. That's really funny. When I look at that, and I can see the tilt, and that's not fair, because low income and minority communities have not gotten a fair shake in lots of things. You mentioned the Navy. I worked a lot with the Navy in Hunters Point, and I saw how much money went outside of Hunters Point in the cleanup to other areas, and the local community got the shaft. No better way of putting it, and forgive me, listeners, if I'm using that term. And environmentally, they got it. And so, this is just a continuing piece. They're saying, okay, if your youth is lucky enough to be healthy and survive, well, we'll give them another option. So it's part of a pattern. And when I say it's another option, not necessarily for living, because what are we up to? How many people have we lost in Iraq? 4,000?
Over 4,000.
Over 4,000. And we're starting to hear that the Iraq War was a mistake. So, anyway.
But they're just talking, if we end up reducing troops in Iraq, they're talking about putting more in Afghanistan, let alone, because again, they have gone on record saying it's an endless war on terror that will not end in our lifetime. I find that one of the most horrifying things I've ever heard in my 56 years.
Yeah, well, one of the things that people seem to forget, you can have talks and discussions, and when you have talks and discussions before you break out the weaponry, that's a good way of doing it. We can set by example, because people look at youth violence, etc., and youth are starting to use violence as an example. And people say, monkey see, monkey do. Well, if the military is doing it, it's going to filter all the way down to our society.
Exactly.
And we have to look at a better way of doing things. Getting back, Marco, you want people, and you need to, here, let me allow you to announce some of the information of how people can get in contact with you. Mm-hmm. You've got a website, please.
Yes. So you can visit our website at www.nomilitaryrecruitmentinourschools.org, and there you'll find more articles about why people should vote no on Proposition V, a complete list of our endorsers, as well as other media information. Our window signs are going to be up there soon, and as well as our drop cards for people to download and print out and put up on their windows. You can also contact the No on V campaign line at American Friends Service Committee, and that's 415-565-0201, extension 14. And as well in the future, can I announce?
Yes, please.
So we're having Musicians Against Military Recruitment in the schools event. It's featuring the Peaceniks, Annie and the Vets, and Martin Kami. So it's going to be on Friday, October 24th at the Bazaar Cafe, 7 p.m. That's at 5927 California Street and 21st Avenue. And so it's a fundraiser for the Vote No on Prop V campaign.
If I could add a little bit more,
sure,
we are in the last month of this electoral season, and everybody's very busy because actually there's more issues on our local San Francisco ballot than ever before. So on our website or calling Marco, you can also find out about activities to get involved in. And the main thing that we're focusing on the next 4 weekends is visibility, which includes tabling and